Okay, so before I go on sharing why plugging to the Atomy success system is so important, I'll just go ahead and sharing a story of some successful people. Jonathan asked me to share a story of success people, and I was thinking about what leader should I share today. But when I was looking into Dr. Lee's lecture, how many of you recognize the name Dr. Lee? If you're thinking, oh, I only know CEO Park, but Dr. Lee, I don't know who he is. If his name is very strange to you, then probably you haven't been watching a lot of video from CH Atomy. Dr. Lee, it's like a business mentor, and even CEO Hungry Park, like seek help from Dr. Lee, how to run the business and how we can become, ladies and gentlemen, of Atomians. And when you listen to his stories, he's sharing a lot of story from other successful people, what we can learn from them to adapt to our Atomy business. And there are 3 common guys appearing on his lectures. Can you recognize any of the gentlemen here? I know this is their senior pictures. I don't have their younger pictures. So can you recognize any of the person here on this picture? If you know the name, if you know the name, you can just unmute yourself. You can answer, or you can just type if you're trying to answer. Okay, so first, gentlemen, so there are 3 gentlemen. There are common guys Dr. Lee is talking about, and if you're really curious what Dr. Lee is sharing about their success stories, I truly recommend all of you to visit any of the global branches. Then you'll be able to find lots of video. Probably there are more than 50 videos of Dr. Lee's lecture, and there's so much to learn and so much you can learn from his lecture to help you to move forward with Atomy business. So the first gentleman over here, have you heard attitude is everything? Attitude is everything. It's Paul J. Meyer. He's the one who came up with attitude is everything. And Dr. Lee's lecture, all his lecture, he always emphasized attitude is everything. And he also got it from the Paul J. Meyer. And before I go on to his favorite thing he needs to do, let's look at this picture. If you go on to Wikipedia and look what success he made for his life, he had 40 different companies that he created. Not only one, 40 companies that he had created, and he built the largest insurance company at age 25. Can you believe it? Not 55, 65, at age 25. And age 27, for his company, in order for a company to recruit the sales agent, average number is 15 to 20 numbers. But you know how many people he was able to recruit? 850. In a year, he was able to recruit 850. And at age 27, I think like in insurance world, they do have a certain title. Like for us, we have Sherwood's Master, Crown Master, Imperial Master. They have a millionaire table. So all the people who's making the highest income, they have a special group. And before 30, he was able to join that. So what made him to achieve all of that? He used to live in a tent. Can you believe it? He's born in a very poor family. Like his parents came from Germany to United States for the American dream. But when the parents were married, they lived in a tent. So he was born in the tent. But now he has a multi-millionaire house, and not only one, he has several houses. And his very first bike, his parents could not afford it. That's why he found it, or probably father found it, in a junkyard. But now he has all the exotic cars in the world, and he even have a license as a pilot. So he has a private jet, so he can travel the world without, booking the first class. He can just be on his own private jet. From nothing, he was able to make all of this. Before he worked at the insurance company and become the first or highest income earner in the insurance company, he used to work in a farm. Anything he could do, like with the manpower. And This is the conversation. So you probably wonder what made him change at that very early age. Probably his parents wasn't able to give him the full education for him to, go to great university. But what made him change? So one day, after hardworking day, he asked his mother, am I going to have to do manual labor work all my life? And the mother said, you have everything right in here. So the mother was pointing at, right, touching his head. You have everything right in here to do anything and be anything you want. So it's part of positive thinking, and what we think will make our destination. And from that moment, he thought, at that moment, I knew the choice was mine and everything depended on my attitude. The world's abundance was mine to earn and possess. It's mine. It's given to us already, but it depends on our attitude and depends on what we do. We can get it or not be able to get what was given to us. It was already given to him, but since he had a right attitude and right side of mind, he was able to acquire all his assets. Imagine, even building one company is hard. Even for us running Atomy company itself, it's very hard, but he was able to manage 40 different companies. And if you visit the websites, there are several websites, and he even created a lot of the foundations, charity work. He left so much legacy because he passed away 2009, and he is so popular in terms of self-development industry. So when you think about the self-development, we think about all the names like John Maxwell, all the leaders' name that we can think of, but he's a father of all the self-employment the industry. All those people who are writing, Tim Robinson, all those people in that category, they all learn from his book because he has written so much book about it also. So from nothing, he was able to make something. Even us, when we started Atomy, we had nothing. We have no knowledge. We have no experience. Probably we didn't have a lot of contact, but with the right attitude, with that mindset, we will be able to achieve what we want in Atomy. I'm sure this is what you want to achieve in your life scenario. Maybe you don't want to have another company because we already have Atomy, and probably you don't want to own a private jet. I don't know how to fly, so I probably don't own a private jet, but you'll be able to achieve everything that you have written down on your life scenario if you have a right attitude, if you do have a right mindset. Amazing. And another guy, I talk about him and I get inspired with his story all the time. And if this name is very new to you, go and check out. There are so many YouTube videos available about his story, and even his story will inspire, will ask you to move forward. Doesn't matter how many rejection you have gotten, you'll be able to stand up again, and you'll be able to go out and face the fears. His name is even on the world Guinness record for selling the most cars. Do you know what is the average car that the car dealer can sell in a day? Average number of car the car dealer can sell. I mean, we all drive a car. So we went to the dealer shop. So that dealer, the dealer person, what is the average number of the car that he or she could sell? If they could even sell 1-2 car a day, it's a blessing. Imagine 1 or 2 car a day, but you know how many car he was able to sell later years? That's why he was able to put his name on the World Guinness record. 14 cars a day. He had several secretaries to help him out to sell 14 cars. But he started from nothing also. He came from abusive family, and his father was very abusive, so he's been bitten like so many times, and he stuttered. So which means he cannot talk like a normal person. But he became a salesperson. So you probably wonder how, if we stutter, probably the buyer or the other person wasn't able to listen to what he's explaining. Instead of speaking, what he did became a listener. So I was reading into his biography, and then I was amazed, and that's what I'm trying to apply to Atomy business also. think about imagine yourself. Think about yourself going into the car dealership. What happens? As soon as you walk in, the car dealer, oh, hi, how are you? Are you, even before you say what you want, they start talking about the greatness of the cars, like what car is good, this and that. But since he doesn't have that ability, instead, he let you sit down and talk about your life. How many people in your family? What's your daily life schedule like? What do you do over the weekend? So by listening to your stories, he'll be able to pick the perfect car for you. If you are a family of 4 or family of 6, and the 2 of your boys are playing, let's say, playing soccer or hockey, you cannot drive 2-door sedan. You cannot drive a sports car. You need probably a big van, or you need a certain car with a big trunk. So he will be able to identify what consumer needs. So that's something we can take it from his business tips. And there's so much. I can even talk about it for 30 minutes. And I was looking at the things that he have done it. He had no contact list. He's a salesperson, so he needed people to come to his store, or he needed to contact somebody to come to his store. He has nobody to ask to come to, nobody to sell the car. What did he end up doing it? Every day, he will call the people from the yellow page. Yellow page. So it's like this. When your dream is there, when you're desperate to achieve, he was desperate to achieve success, or not even success, make money to feed the family. It's not about buying a luxury house or a luxury car. He just wants to put the food on the table. Because when he got the job as a salesperson, he didn't even have money. He had no money. He had a family already, but he had no money. So as a father, he wanted to put food on the table. So he just got on the bus, and then the first stop he landed was a Chrysler dealership. So he knocked on the door. I really need a job. And I don't know, for some reason, the owner of the dealership, okay, you can start work from tomorrow. But you know what he did? After saying thank you, can I borrow $10 from you? I don't know whether it's a $10, $5, because I don't know the dollar value at the time, but he said he asked for the money because I have no money to bring the food to the table. That's how desperate he was. But later, he became the best car seller in the world. There are so many things we could learn from him. Like, there are so many people who had nothing, but they were able to make success. Yes, attitude. And he was a good listener. And this is what he came up with. Every customer coming to his store, he always provide the best service ever, because he said, I'm not dealing with a one person. Okay, so I'm going in, and let's say I'm a Girard, and Jonathan come to my store to buy the car. I'm not only dealing with Jonathan. I know if I give an amazing service to Jonathan in the near future, I could have 250 of his contacts. And how he was able to come up with that number, he went to several funerals and the weddings. And he got curious because, there are people who's preparing for the food. How do you know that how much portion of the food that you need to prepare? So he asked the chef, he asked the priest, and he asked several people who's organizing the event. And they said around 200 people. And of course, he was asking, how do you know that's the average number? Because in one person's life, they usually know average 250 people. So he came up with the answer. Yes, I might be facing a one person, but I'm expecting 250 referrals from this member and this customer. That's law of 250. So when I was watching Dr. Lee's recording and he mentioned the law of 250, of course I get curious. Okay, something I should learn beside the law of your mind. I was Googling it, and that's where I came up with the Girard, and I end up purchasing his books. I was amazed, and I was able to learn a lot and adapt to Atomy business, which is helping me a lot too. And the picture that I posted here, he was the first person. It's a historical picture. This is the first person who bought a car from Girard. And on his last day, he was the last person also that bought a car from Girard. And the reason he retired really early, I think before 50, because doctor told him, if you keep on working like this, doesn't matter how much money you have, you're gonna die early. Because imagine dealing with the 14 different types of people, and how amazing how amazed was his service. When you get a car accident or something happened with your car, what do you do? Who do you contact? Yes, can't just answer. Insurance company. You call the insurance company. But most of Girard's customer, who's the first person to call? Even the customer has a car accident, even before calling police officer, they're calling Girard. And Girard will take care of everything. Instead of, I'm not a police officer. I'm not your insurance company. Why are you calling me? Instead of that, he will look after their problems. So who wouldn't love to refer to their family members, friends, to him? So a lot of lessons that we could learn beside the leaders from Atomy. There are so many successful people that we could learn from their stories. And the last person, and this is not a real person. There is a movie about it, and I watched it, and probably there's a short version, the summary version, a lot available in YouTube. So after this, if you really wonder who he is, just type Beef Porter. You will see a short version, like summary version of this movie. And this is a sandwich that his mother will make for him like every day. And if you watch throughout the video, you will notice that he's not normal. He suffered from cerebral palsy, so he cannot really walk properly. And I think he cannot really even move one of his arm properly. So he could not really tie his, wear the suit and then make the tie, and he cannot really even have a proper attire on his own. So he needs to get a help from his mom every morning. But rain or snow, every morning he will wake up and he will go to door because he works for the company called Watkins. He worked that company, and I think like when he retired, he probably was one of the best seller for that company in the history. So I'm searching for the company Watkins. They probably sells most of the daily necessary products, and he will visit on his body condition every day. He will visit with the bag, with the catalog. He will visit several places. Of course, do you think people will say, "Okay, I want to buy from you"? No, he gets rejection all the time. What's his rejection? No, thank you. People close the door. And one nice lady one day, okay, I wanna buy some detergent from you. Starting from there, how he was able to make great impressions, get referrals. So even when you look at his story, what am I complaining for my life right now? What am I complaining of my Atomy situation right now? I'm in a better situation. But in his story, what the story is trying to tell us, anything we do, we cannot expect the results right away. It requires a hard work. It requires, like our passions to move forward despite any of the situation and be persistent. Be consistent and be persistent. I love this quote. I cannot do it, never yet. I can't do it, never yet accomplish anything. If you say I can't do it, and your body is not even ready to start. So if you say, I can't do it, never yet accomplish anything, I will try, has performed a miracle. Just even willing to do something will make a difference. If somebody asks you to do something, let's say if Jonathan asks you, can you present? And in your mind, I'm not a good presenter. I don't know how to present. So you just say, I can. Then no improvement from there. But you're not a perfect, you're not a good presenter, but just say, I will try. From the moment you say, I will try, your brain is thinking, what should I need to do? Okay, I'm not a good presenter, so maybe I should look into some other people's presentation before I make my own presentation. Okay, I'm not really good at making a PowerPoint, but at this moment, maybe I can seek for help. So even you're willing to give it a try will make a difference. If somebody offer you Atomy business or somebody offer you certain opportunity, most people, what do they say? Oh, I can do it. Oh, I cannot. Then there's no improvement. They cannot expect a better life. But you know what? I'm not really good at it, or I cannot really guarantee that I'll be able to make success, but I'll give it a try. Let me give it a try. Then that thought will change everything. And you'll be able to step forward closer to success. So there was a 3 short success story which I really want to share. I always, when I feel down, I definitely look at CEO 100 Parts lecture. But besides, sometimes you want to get away from Atomy work because you're tired of all the rejection with Atomy. So when I want to face when I want to hear the story from some other leaders, those are the 3 people. I still have those books. I don't read like from first to the end. There's a favorite chapter that I would love to read, and I always get inspired from their success stories. All those 3 gentlemen, they really made something like huge out of nothing. Okay, so we can do the same thing. We are all same human beings. Okay, so with a right set of mind, with a great attitude, we'll be able to make success in Atomy.